Is he like a dead guy or an alien? What is he? I forget what he is.
One
of them channels an alien.
Right, but
There's
I think
another
there's
lady.
multiple people.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is I've kind of like was listening, stumbled on that while I was driving, and investigating or reconnecting with the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And how to like, it's like when you get your motorcycle lesson, they tell you to look through the turn because you tend to go where you're looking. You know, not a lot of people are walking backwards and talking to you as they go forward.
Right, of course.
And so that it sort of dawned on me the connection between just looking for something you love and not bonding or focusing on all the shit you don't like as a manner of walking towards what you desire. You know, and this kind of reawakening with that concept is just mere 3-4 weeks old for me.
Really?
Well, returning to that idea, because I had this idea, this concept before of like, someone's got to make it. Why shouldn't it be? Why couldn't it be you? Let's go for it and really go for it. The only way to make it is to really honestly go.
So you're talking about like your band before you guys made it?
No, I'm talking about a way of acting regarding anything.
Okay.
I love music, and and music has always been my way of being the utmost honest I can be. And I think because of that, that's what's helped gravitate people that have stayed so long in that. However, also I've realized that I put so much of who I really am in total into the music that there are times that I should have done that in relationships with friends or people. It's like, and family, and that it's important to do that in life too. You know, to be engaged, and also show your real self. That kind of where the vulnerability of all that is really powerful instead of weakness. It's the opposite of weakness, you know. And so I think pursuing music that way is great, but not if it's keeping you from doing that in life. And so it's not just that I would think that way so my band would do well. It's that I would think that way so that I could do well. I could be well, you know.
Right.
And so that's why I started listening to her and not seeing any of the opening gambit of her transforming into Abraham, and not caring and not understanding what that means. Just going like, I'm just listening to what you're saying while I'm driving.
Right.
And hearing that and the way she speaks regarding those things is really fascinating. I choose to detach myself from
Judgment.
Yeah, because I know one thing, nothing.
Well, it's weird because she's saying very wise things.
Right, but it would be a shame to get just because I don't. That's not the rapper I would pick. That I don't like the candy inside.
Right. Yeah, the channeling part of it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it's not. Oh, you mean it's not exactly how I would do it? Well, fuck this then.
Well, it's not just that. It's like you're listening to wisdom, but are you listening to wisdom from someone who's made up a fairy tale? That's where it gets confusing. It's like she's channeling.
Well, but
who is she channeling? And how is she doing?
I also think that to be able to learn something, this awakening in me is so new. Like it's in all honesty, it's like a month and a half old, but it feels really good.
What happened?
It's just that you know. I think that engagement in life, you know, and also, you know, feeling a bit lost and not knowing how to ask for help sometimes, you know what I mean? And not really knowing something exists at all. You have feelings. That's a little too vague, but my point being that, like, all of a sudden engaging in something that you really love, not focusing on the negative part of it, but really chasing after that thing which makes you feel good.
So you've changed your perspective. You've changed the way you focus on it.
Absolutely, and in fact, that I've realized, like, what sort of, you know, it's fine. It's fine to be afraid of shit. You know?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not fine to go like, nope, that's not that's not over there. But,
Right, to deny it.
yeah. How can you get stronger unless you turn and really, really look into it? You know?
Right. You don't want to be paralyzed by fear, but there's nothing wrong with being aware that something scares you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really. 9 times out of 10, you didn't need to be afraid of it, and that one time you do, you know it's true, and you know what it is.
Right.
And that seems like a successful. And in dealing with that too, you get the chance to say, I can do this.
Is that lady still alive? Is Esther Hicks still alive?
I have no idea.
Oh, maybe I could get her in. Have her go wonky on it.
I think it would be interesting because you'd have to separate the things that don't fit, right? For
Right.
you.
Well, one of the husband has to be there with everything too. It
Jerry,
seemed like
he
talks-
died. As
He
I
died?
listened,
Oh.
see, without having no preconceived notion and just hearing this as I drive, when the next YouTube thing started playing, I was like, who is this? Who's Abraham? There was no context for me. I was
Right.
just listening to the words,
Right.
and I was like, wow, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, this is great. And kept listening. I was driving to the desert and doing this other stuff, and
You know what's interesting about it? It's remarkably consistent. Like she doesn't say anything that's really foolish.
and she never changes her tune
Right.
about look. And I started to dig that she was saying we, because until I understood that she was like channeling something, I thought it was just a really beautiful way of saying we. What we want to tell you is like as if you were already there.
Right.
And really what she was talking about is already being there anyways. Like you will have an idea, you will form a habit of one type or another. Which one would you like it to be? And know this, if all you can focus is on what sucks but is yet to be, just wait a sec. It's coming. And where conversely, if you were like, I ain't gonna worry about that because I'd like as much time without it as possible. Let's focus on something I do like until shit gets here.
Yeah.
That you naturally look through the turn. And as long as you're not trying to turn into a wall or a cavalcade of shit,
Right.
but if you're trying to turn into something you love, you actually will turn into something you love.
In that case, you should probably embrace challenges, right? You should probably welcome them because when they happen, they will test you, and then you can figure out whether or not this philosophy is actually.
Well, I mean, I have
work?
been testing because I've always like dealt with difficulty by shielding it, putting it into the music or putting it into some dark closet somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's just you're taught to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like gnash your teeth and grin and bear
Or
it.
ignore it. Or,
Ignore, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what the rug is for, sweeping stuff under.
Right.
Where you're like, oh, really? But that feels like building a dam or something. To when really you're supposed to let that river of fear or whatever go with it, go downstream with it, stop fighting it.
Yeah.
Because you dam all that shit up, put it in the corner, bury it behind, and really one day it just like gives you a massive bath of you're fucked. That dam breaks.
That whole law of attraction thing is very strange to me because I feel like everybody's trying to describe something that there's some element of truth to, but that it's really complicated and it's not as simple as think it and manifest it. There's
Yes.
a lot of discipline involved in that. There's a lot of hard work and concentration and thought and doubts and hopes and dreams, and there's a lot of other things, and then also fortune.
Well,
there's a lot of people.
I feel like I would never use that for fortune. For me, the fortune would be like that your relationships and emotional connections get deeper.
Yeah, I don't mean fortune. I mean being fortunate.
Fortunate, yeah.
I mean being lucky. Like we're lucky we're here.
Well, we're blessed we're here,
Yes,
but it's not
yes.
really lucky. And I think that's one of the main things right there is understanding the difference in thought. Because ultimately what you're saying, what one is that hard work that you're talking about, and all those things are sort of getting out of your own way and unlearning how to be so doubtful about it all and just say, I'll take something I like and I'll just think about that for a bit and let that be the first step and then go, what do I keep going down that river downstream of that idea, getting closer and closer to something you really love. Because saying I don't like this water bottle sucks, but saying, but at least I don't have to drink it is one step away from that. And if you just keep taking those steps away, and going down that river, that's the right direction to be going. Because focusing on this is like, how's that going to help you? God, it's got this blue binding, and it's
Well, it's certainly not going to help you to think about how fortunate you are.
yeah.
Is it? I mean, I guess it kind of is.
It's blocking you. Well, it's blocking you from feeling fortunate, but saying at least I don't have to drink them every day is turning the right direction and heading towards how fortunate you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep taking those little those steps, then soon you get to like, I feel fortunate to be here.
Right.
I feel fortunate I don't have to think about this bottle of water all the time. That's quite nice.
Genuine gratitude. Also, it clears your mind if you're thinking about positive things and working towards those things, it clears your mind of a lot of the natural traps that we set for each other.
Yeah, dumb nuts baggage.
Yeah.
Those hurdles we make are tailor-made because they're made by you for you.
Right.
How could they not work?
Yeah, they highlight your actual real insecurities and fears that you know you have.
Absolutely, and you go, this is sure to trap someone because look, and then you're in it.
Yeah.
Because you made it for you. It's like, yeah, to me, to trap me. And I think what I like about what I heard her saying is that because it came from no context whatsoever, and I just heard the words, it said, can you get out of your own way?
Yeah.
That's what I would like you to think about first.
What is that? There's an ancient tale, the tale of two wolves, meaning how to live your life. That, like,
I know it.
One wolf is filled with fear, and how does that go?
My mother just gave it to my kids.
Really? How's it go?
It is paraphrasing. She bought this framed thing, like, there are two wolves, and one is anger, and one is like love, and they both exist, but ultimately it's like, which one are you going to feed?
Yeah.
That it's really I think I'm correct in saying the
It's
ultimate
something
goal
like,
is.
you're paraphrasing, but it's something like that. It's the one that survives and succeeds is the one you feed.
Well, I think the younger, Native American says, well, how do I know which one? How do I not let one take over?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, which one are you going to feed ultimately?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the more you concentrate on positive things and the less you concentrate on negative things, for sure you're freeing your mind up, and you gain the momentum of positive thought and the momentum of living your life with positive thought. It becomes easier to do,
Right,
and
and
more rewarding to do.
I think it's also necessary to say, I'm not talking about walking around in collapsia like going,
Right.
It's just like smile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Being
And-
nice and in action, you're talking about this. You're not talking about this like in some sort of a random...
Well, it starts with a thought, it works into an idea, and then manifests itself into like a smile, or just, it's nice to do something nice and also understand that I'm not talking about walking around like, hi.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about being some goof tits, dumb nuts motherfucker. That's what I'm saying is, do something nice and start that way.
Yeah.
And leave it at that. And I think there's something to, when your thoughts are filled with this, there's just frankly less room for me to think about this water, which I dislike.
Right.
Frankly, there's less real estate.
Right. You're
Because
using your real estate on positive things.
Yeah, and because of the contagion of enjoying it, because things that are positive are essentially things I like.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying being here, so this water doesn't really. I don't have real estate for that.
Right.
I've got too much enjoyment and to be here, and that'll do.
Now, this Esther Hicks thing, how did you get into this?
Completely by accident, or not, meaning, just sometimes things just slam down on the table and say, you've got to be engaged. This is the moment to do it or not.
Right.
And nothing incites a change like that. It's sort of a gift, actually. It's saying, let's struggle now. But if you struggle through this, it's going to get better. And I'm actually really thankful and appreciative of that sort of moment. I don't mind the risk of all that. That's what it's all about.
How'd you stumble upon it, though?
I just was like looking for like looking for through the law of attraction and finding a way to change my thoughts to things I loved. And I listened to a couple. I was driving, and it just clicked onto her as it auto-played, and there it was. And as I said, without any sort of judgment, and I'm the last person that's kind of a joiner or would be accused of being hippy-dippies or whatever, like kind of like said without it, and it just clicked onto her as it things attraction and finding a way to change my thoughts to things I loved. And I listened to a couple. I was driving, and it just clicked onto her as it auto-played, and there it was. And as I said, without any sort of judgment, and I'm the last person that's kind of a joiner or would be accused of being hippy-dippies or whatever, like kind of like someone who's scared would say, you know what I mean? So it just made sense to me. Almost the calculus of it all. It's a complex problem. But get out of your own way. Keep it simple. Listen.
But she goes further than that, right? She actually talks about your thoughts manifesting reality. And she talks about how what you're doing with your thoughts and the way you think and the way you sort of interface with reality is you're creating reality with your mind.
Right. Right. And and I'm choosing how I want to take that and have that mean something to me.
So you're finding an application for that in your life.
And
So-
also, I'm within the spectrum of all the things she's talking about. I simply am looking for ways to, in my immediate life with the people that are close to me, how to be more engaged and how to be more engaging myself. Because, as I said, I've had a lot of troubled times in the last few years because of just feeling lost and not knowing how to deal with that. And you always put that in your music. But maybe I should be putting it into more than just that too. It doesn't negate wanting your music to be truth.
Right.
That's what it's for. But also, it should be inspiring to point that in other directions too.
Are you bringing this to the band? Like, if you said, "Hey guys, listen to this channel here, lady"?
No, because I mean, I'm surprised I'm sort of revealing it here. It's like because I'm not a disciple of anything.
Yeah, but listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, honestly. Because I
Well-
mean, I've listened to it too. A buddy of mine was really into it, and he turned me on to it, and I listened to it, and I said, "Okay, there's a lot of wacky shit going on here." There's like, I think she's channeling a 1,000-year-old person, something like that.
Yeah, Gary.
But whatever, Abraham, right? Isn't that like? I think she's supposedly channeling some ancient
Absolutely,
person.
yeah.
But forget all that. The words she's saying resonate.
And they're also sort of like consistent across this thing. And as I said before, I'm mining in a specific vein of like, okay, the people I care about most. How do we all grow right at each other, and how do we do that?
Right.
Because that is the goal. The goal is to be alone.
And it's also, whether it's wacky or not, look, there's a lot of wacky shit in religion, but obviously a lot of people find some great meaning in it. You can, I don't know how much, there's, the world is weird and complicated.
Yeah,
Sometimes
absolutely.
you can get real wisdom from shit that sounds like nonsense.
Well, if you reserve the right to be surprised by life,
Yeah.
if you to have an open mind, you certainly have to unlock the door and open that fucker.
That's a great way of looking at it. Reserve the right to be surprised by life.
That is my goal in general in life, and also now it's my mission, because it's a bit like when I used to like mess around with illegals, like the legal sub things like that.
Drugs?
Yeah. Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
I suppose those are in there too. Yeah.
What did you mean, though? You said illegals.
I meant that wrapped in other stuff, so I didn't have to just say that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but then I think I just gave that away.
Okay.
No, those things are sort of like, I tried all that for too long, and that didn't really go anywhere. So what else is there? What else is going on?
Right. So you tried drugs, and then you're like, well, there's got to be something else that's going to fill this void or give me some peace. Or
Yeah, or like, I certainly can't stand here. You're either growing or dying.
Right.
And since I'm less interested in dying, I'm like, what else?
Yeah.
What else do we got?
Right.
I mean, I think for a while it was, my next thing is oh, it doesn't matter. I think what's important is when you said, are you bringing this to the guys in the band? I was just about to say yes until you said, are you telling her about this lady? because to me, yes until you said, "Are you telling her about?"
You're
She's
bringing
less
the
important.
lessons that you learn.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, because I think I've always looked at music this way, where it's like locks. They have these concentric circles, and at one point they all line up, and you can see through the door to the other side. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee that. If I have a song, and we have to, and those concentric circles line up, it almost feels painful or criminal not to go to the other side when you know it gets so much better there.
Right.
And I feel like what I've been kind of learning is I also should apply the same understanding to the people I care about. You know, like if there's a way for us to have something more meaningful, that's all that being meaningful is. Like, money is green paper. You know, these are like, it's fun to collect things, but who cares? It's the relationships you have, and you know, when you have kids and stuff, it's like enjoying that shit, even when it's rough. That's the thing to get good at. You know what I mean? You'll have plenty of time to die all alone as you were, you know, later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's what I'm kind of getting from what she's saying. And so that works just fine.
Yeah. Well, if it works, use it, right?
It's not exclusively that either, you know. It's just like
It's a tool.
yeah, it's one of the tools that I would use in every situation. Is situational. And so I feel like what's great is to have a bunch of tools and not pretend to know.
On evolving from human beings. Something slowly but surely, you can call it intuition. You can, oh, I thought about someone and my phone rang. It was them, and I haven't talked to them for years. I mean, that might be coincidence.
Yeah, but did you keep track of all the misses? I mean, this is confirmation bias, right?
For sure.
So my favorite example here is you line up 1,000 people. It's a coin toss thing. Line up 1,000 people, and then flip a coin. And if you get tails, you sit down. Okay. So now you got 500 left. Flip it, 250. Okay? You know, what are we down to? We have 250 people. They flip a coin. Half get heads, 120 sit down. Now we're down to 60. And then 30. And then 15. And then 8. And then 4. And then 2. And then 1. All right? So, in a classic execution of this experiment, there's one person left at the end. And you know something? That person flipped heads 10 consecutive times. So what does the press do? The press goes to that person. Say, how do you feel about winning this coin toss? You know, I felt some heads energy halfway through, and I this felt really real to me. And I saw signs and I saw a heads up coin on the street. So I knew I was going to win. Did they interview anyone else who didn't win?
Right.
To see if they had heads energy feelings? No, they don't even get interviewed. And plus, we are so hubristic and ego-driven that we think we are special for having flipped head 10 times in a row. When almost every time you do this experiment, somebody's going to flip heads 10 times in a row.
That mirrors what I've always said about The Secret and the law of attraction. I'm like, you're only talking to winners.
Yes.
Talk to people that imagined they were going to be rock stars. Imagine.
Correct. And we don't. That's correct.
They didn't. It didn't work out for them because you can't just. They might have really been thinking hard about it all day and night, but you can't just manufacture things from your mind. But what you can do is have a goal, work towards it.
Work towards it.
Have
Correct.
discipline.
Correct.
Have focus. Learn from your mistakes. Improve upon your approach, and then eventually get to a place where you can look back and say, you know, I did it all with my mind. I made it happen. I envisioned it, and I made it happen. And people are like, oh my God, he's using The Secret.
Yeah, that's right.
They're
right.
using the law of attraction.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's in a lot of talk shows, you know.
Yeah.
mid-afternoon talk shows.
Yeah, like the
network talk
gals,
shows.
the ladies like those.
So it's
And stay-at-home dads.
right,
They're really into those.
It's a point.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wait.
Mid-afternoon talk shows.
Yeah, like
Network
the
talk
gals,
shows.
the ladies like those.
So it's
And stay-at-home dads.
right,
They're really into those.
It's a point.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wait.
You know, so I used to brag. I'm the only world champion that was never divorced. I used to brag about it. Flair's been married 29 times. All my boys been married 29 times. Everybody's been married 29 times.
Right.
And all of a sudden, when I went through this divorce and I really bottomed out, you know, it was a tough one. And then my wife split with a younger man. It was a little rough on me. And then I started searching. And I watched that movie, The Secret. You know?
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, I kind of like watched it and bought into it. Then I had a Mercedes at the movie, The Secret. You know?
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, I kind of like watched time, and I had my buddy who had a car stereo shop deprogram the navigation, and I put the secret in the movie, The Secret. You know?
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, I kind of like watched it and bought into it. Then I had a Mercedes at the time, and I had my buddy who had a car stereo shop deprogram the navigation, and I put the secret in it. So every time you started the car, the secret would come on the navigation screen.
Really?
Yeah, so I probably saw it and heard it 10,000 times, okay? And then I saw what the law of attraction was. It was a natural law that not only does science say it works, and the Bible says it works. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about money. We're talking about health. We're talking about everything. You know, you attract what you think. Everything comes from the heart. Your tongue speaks what the mind's thinking. So at the end of the day, I saw that law of attraction is actually a scientific law that we're given, such as aerodynamics. You know, how a plane will stay in the air with the wind going over the top of the wing faster than underneath. Buoyancy, you know, how buoyancy works. And then gravity, it's working right now. You're probably not even thinking of it. But,
I'm not thinking about it.
okay, I know you're not. But gravity works too. And also the law of attraction works too. The rich get richer, poor get poorer. Like attracts like. You know, and so at the end of the day, after seeing The Secret thing and having it beat in my head, I went, this guy named James Ray, who went to prison for that sweat lodge thing.
Sweat lodge thing?
Yeah, he had a sweat lodge thing.
Oh, yeah, people died, right?
Yeah, James Ray. He at the time said something that really hit me hard on that secret. He goes, there's probably things in your life that you're not proud of, and there's probably a lot of things in your life that you are proud of. But when would now, and he said the word, when would now be the time to change? I mean, you can change your direction of life by changing your thinking? And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So anyway, I started praying. I want to meet James Ray. And you think like it's already done. It's like when you pray, you don't pray like, oh, please, no, heal my back, I'm hurt. No, you say, thank you, God, for my perfect health, for my healing. You pray like it's already done. You know?
Oh, that's what you do?
Yes, that's what you do. You pray like it's already done. Yeah. You guys are killing me. You want me to shut up?
No, I love you. What are you
Okay.
talking about? I'm
killing it.
loving
So
this.
anyway,
I want to
now,
hear more about
now
the
I'm
secret.
praying to meet James Ray, right?
Right.
Praying. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. Hey, Dad. What's up, Nick? Oh, yeah, I'm in the bathroom here at this Beverly Hills Hotel. I think that guy's in here that's in that movie, The Secret. I said, ask him what his name is. And Nick goes, hey, excuse me, sir, what's your name? My name's James Ray. I put him on the phone. So now the guy I've been praying to meet, he's in the bathroom with my son. Okay, coincidence,
Wow.
whatever. There are no coincidences in life, but whatever. So anyway, now the long guy with the dreads, Michael Beckwith. Now I start praying, you know, because I want to see him. You know, I want to meet him now. So I'm figuring this works. So all of a sudden, I had a really, really bad day one day, and I walked off the set of American Gladiators. I just walked off. And I had the #1 show on NBC, 8 o'clock. Ben Silverman I had an office in Beverly Hills. I had one in New York. Ben Silverman goes, "You own the network." The numbers were crazy. We were doing really, really good. And I had a really bad situation happen. I just walked off the set, and I didn't come back. And I was in Tampa. Layla Ali called me. She goes, "What's up with you?" I kind of told her what kind of was going on. She goes, "I want you to come to church with me." And nobody's ever asked me to do that, right? So I said, "When do you want me to come?" She said, "How about this Sunday?" I said, "I'll be there." I was in Tampa. So I flew out there. We go to church. Guess who's preaching? Michael Beckwith. Nobody's ever asked me. So I'm like, the guy I wanted to meet, the guy with the dreads. So anyway, I started listening to what he said. He ended up marrying me the second time, and we became friends and stuff. But it kind of led me down that path, to start searching and finding what worked for me and what I believed in. And ever since then, man, that's been the #1 priority. And it kind of locked me in, to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and what I believe in. And so everything else is a distant second to what happens around me.
Yeah, that provides you with a lot of peace, right?
Oh my God,
That's
you
the
have no
thing
idea.
that all my friends that are very religious say, that it gives them a peace
Yeah,
that I don't think people have without it, which is interesting.
yeah, and the craziest thing was, Sky, the girl I'm engaged to, it's such a crazy story. I swore I'd never date another blonde. Swore to God I'd never date another blonde, right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So the really cool thing was, after I met her, there's a whole long story to that situation, but after I met her, the fact that she's a believer too is just really kind of makes things so easy.
It would be probably difficult for you at this stage of your life to date someone who wasn't, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I was married to somebody the second time who wasn't. It didn't really resonate with her. That it was more the universe and the Wayne Dyer and all that stuff, and Esther Hicks and all that stuff. And,
well, I mean, that's a little bit of the law of attraction too. Right?
yeah, it is, but
there's a lot of
but there's a lot of idolatry there, bro, and worshiping false idols. So
Yes.
I'm not on that team.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I keep an open mind about whether or not the law of attraction is. There's probably something going on with our minds and the way it interacts with reality that's not measurable. And I think you could say, we know that people that have a positive outlook and positive thinking and they do the right things, they get further and better in life, right? So it's obvious that the direction that you put your thoughts and your time and your effort into, if you're doing it the right way, yield results. The problem with that I have with a lot of these people that think that you can just think about things and then they happen. It's like everybody that's thought about things and happen has already done. They do a lot of shit. There's a lot of movement. It's not as simple as just thinking about something. But it might be a real aspect of it. Because I know a lot of talented people that have a negative perspective and shit never seems to go right for them, even though they're really talented. There's something about the way they look at life and reality. They're kind of hamstringing themselves.
Well, it's more than just thinking it, brother. You have to believe it. You have to feel it like
Right.
it's already done, and
But
then you get a better shot at it.
When you said that it's scientifically proven, how is the law of attraction scientifically proven?
Well, it's proven because like attracts like. Well, positive charges and negative charges are opposites. But they repel away from each other. If you try to put them together. Well, positive. I take that back. Positive doesn't. Maybe I didn't misspeak. Positive. Maybe I shouldn't have said.
We
science.
suck at science.
Yeah, you're
Everyone knows it.
right. Yeah.
We're not here
Yeah.
for science.
Okay.
This Hulk Hogan weed's good.
Yeah.
It's a little too good.
But
It's a little. It's a little problematic. I'm going to tell you.
Let me tell you something that could change your life forever. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about the incredible, unshakable, undeniable power of visualization. A power so real, so potent, that when you truly tap into it, your entire world begins to shift. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. It's not cute slogan. That's a universal truth, one that governs.
Do you want to tell people what they need to hear or what they want to hear? They want to hear, you just have to manifest it into reality. Just think about it.
Right,
I mean,
the secret.
think and grow rich, right? Like
Yes.
that's what I think that's his genius. Is he's like,
Yeah.
I'll just tell people. It's just a matter of your thinking.
Yeah, I've had to explain that to many people that want to talk about the secret. They want to talk about the law.
You know,
of
so
attraction.
I used to
Hey,
brag. I'm the only
you're
world
hearing
champion
from
that was
the people
never
that are
divorced. I used to
successful.
brag about it. Flair's
There's a
been
lot
married 29
involved.
times.
If you want to talk to a successful person, how'd you make it? Well, I visualized it and I kept working. Okay, yes. But
The
there's-
second part's the most
yeah,
important.
they kept working. But it's also, the visualization is an aspect of succeed. You can't just succeed and make it to the point where you're running some gigantic business without some sort of a vision.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that vision created it. There's so many people out there that try to manifest something and it never takes place.
Yeah, well, I know you quoted this once, but Marcus Aurelius' thing about how your life is dyed by the color of your thoughts. It's true. If you think it's impossible for you.
Yes.
Right? If you think you're not capable of it, if you think it's unfair, that is a self-fulfilling prophecy in that sense.
But it doesn't mean that if you think it's possible, it's going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
if you visualize yourself beating Mike Tyson, he's still going to fuck you up.
Yeah. But if you visualize that you're capable of making a better life for yourself and then you fucking work at it every
Yes.
day, chances are, barring some insane, unforeseen, unfair circumstances, you will likely get there.
You will likely get there. And it is a thing that other people have done, and you can model yourself based on what they've accomplished. And if you put in the kind of effort that they've done and the kind of thinking that they've put in, you can accomplish great things. It is possible for almost everyone to achieve something beyond your imagination. You can get there in incremental steps, and each incremental step will open and broaden your possibilities.
Well, and it also, if you allow a long enough timeline, it becomes a near certainty.
Hello there and welcome. I'm
Do you want to tell people what they need to hear or what they want to hear?
Do you meditate, John?
I used to meditate a lot. Now I'm more big into visualization.
When did you used to meditate?
Right around 2000, around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind, and I got into it deep, like really deep, just meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief. And so right around 2010, I just took myself to this different mental level where I took myself from being an average Joe, kind of. You probably hate average Joe, huh?
Doesn't bother me.
I took myself. You're like, what's average about?
I'm so used to that name.
Uh,
Such a goofy name. It's good. It's like a blank. It's like cardboard. It's
yeah,
like there's nothing to it.
yeah. So I took myself from being very average-minded to actually believing that I was the shit, and believing that I could be the shit, and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. Into, like, I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers, guys like Les Brown and Tony Robbins and guys like that. I just became really obsessed with just learning about the power of the mind. So I used to meditate. Now I just kind of, I have a lot of things that stuck with me, a lot of ways of believing that stuck with me that just subconsciously I know who I am, what I'm capable of, and how I believe, and how powerful my mind actually is.
I'm a firm believer in meditation because I believe that human beings can get caught up, especially someone involved in a very difficult endeavor like you are. You can get caught up in the momentum of your life, and sometimes it's very hard to reset. It's very hard to separate yourself from it and get a balanced and, as much as you can, objective perspective. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to take time where you sit and you close your eyes and you do nothing, and just concentrate on your breathing and just set it all aside and extract yourself, extract your consciousness from the momentum of your life. And I think a lot of people don't do that, and they get caught up in this hurricane of existence,
Right.
where everything's just constantly going on. Your phone won't stop ringing. There's fucking people knocking at your door. You got this going on, that going on. You got to go catch this flight, and oh shit, you got a fight coming up, and oh shit, you got this and that, and sometimes you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You lose yourself in that wave of life.
I definitely lost myself at one point in my life. And I feel like right now I'm at this position where I am myself, and I can see John Bones Jones, and I'm like, I can like look at my career from a fan perspective. You get what I'm saying? And actually make fun of myself. Like, damn, you fucking idiot. like what have you done? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a good way of detaching something inside of me and seeing what's happening. And okay, oh no, it's not over. All you gotta do is just do this, do that, do that. And you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily meditating these days, but I do have the capability of taking away who I actually am at this point and realizing that this is just a part of me, or this is just a situation in my life. This isn't my actual life. This isn't my final destination. This is just a small moment in time that I'm going through right now. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I get what you're saying.
So that's my form of meditation. I step away from terrible situations and look at myself as if it's the future, and I'm looking back on what's happened to me or what's happening, and I say, okay, how can I get myself out of this? How can I make this better? What do I need to do to turn this around? You get what I'm saying?
Right. No, I
Instead
do
of
get what
being
you're saying.
completely immersed in the moment and thinking that, oh, I can't get out of it, like, you know. So.
I keep an open mind about whether or not the law of that Esther Hicks lady is very strange. I'm very torn on that because I listened to the actual words and the things that she says when she's channeling that. What is it like?
Abraham.
Is he like a dead guy or an alien? What is he? I forget what he is. One of them channels an alien.
Right, but
There's
I think there's
lady.
multiple people.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is I've kind of like was listening, stumbled on that while I was driving, and investigating or reconnecting with the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And how to like, it's like when you get your motorcycle lesson, they tell you to look through the turn because you tend to go where you're looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not a lot of people are walking backwards and talking to you as they go forwards.
Right, of course.
And so that it sort of dawned on me the connection between just looking for something you love
The self-help genre is
That's true. And also, it's like, do you want to tell people what they need to hear or what they want to hear? They want to hear, you just have to manifest it into reality. Just think about it.
right.
Think and grow rich, right? Like, I think that's his genius, is he is like, I'll just tell people, it's just a matter of your thinking.
Yeah, I've had to explain that. To many people that want to talk about the secret, they want to talk about the law of attraction. I'm like, hey, you're only hearing from the people that are successful. If you want to talk to a successful person, how'd you make it? Well, I visualized it and I kept working. Okay, yes. But
The second part's the most important.
They kept working. But it's also, the visualization is an aspect of succeed. You can't just succeed and make it to the point where you're running some gigantic business without some sort of a vision.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean the vision created it. There's so many people out there that try to manifest something and it never takes place. The self-help genre is a very troubled genre, you know, because there's a lot of people engaged in self-help that really haven't done shit.
That's true. And also, it's like, do you want to tell people what they need to hear or what they want to hear? They want to hear, you just have to manifest it into reality. Just think about it.
Right.
Think and grow rich, right? Like, I think that's his genius, is he is like, I'll just tell people, it's just a matter of your thinking.
Yeah, I've had to explain that to many people that want to talk about the secret. They want to talk about the law of attraction. I'm like, hey, you're only hearing from the people that are successful. If you want to talk to a successful person, how'd you make it? Well, I visualized it and I kept working. Okay, yes. But
the second part's the most important.
They kept working. But it's also, the visualization is an aspect of succeed. You can't just succeed and make it to the point where you're running some gigantic business without some sort of a vision.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean the vision created it. There's so
My wife said to me once, she said, because I have this power of thinking, like when I think really hard, it comes to me shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my wife goes, if you think you deserve $1 million, you'll get $1 million. And I said, God gives you what you need, not what you want. And then she said, do you think Chelsea Handler needed a TV show? So she kind of like debunked my whole need, you know, and want thing. My wife said to me once, she said, because I have this power of thinking, like when I think really hard, it comes to me sit, right? And my wife goes, if you think you deserve $1 million, this was, you'll get $1 million. And I said, God gives you what you need, not what you want. And then she said, do you think Chelsea Handler needed a TV show? So she kind of like debunked my whole need, you know, and want thing. My wife said to me once, she said,
Yeah, I'm curious. Have you ever heard of something called an egregore and egregore
No.
before? So we had just learned about this too, like recently. But basically, the theory is that if there's enough people believing in something, by just manifesting it in their minds, it becomes real. And so if, for example, like with this spot, it's like there's been so many people that have heard the dark history of Waverly Hills that maybe they're believing it into existence. Like there's so many people going there to ghost hunt, so many people hearing about the trauma of it every single day, that all that energy, that's just a theory, is like trapped there as well.
Yeah, who knows? That's what's weird about thoughts. Like, who knows what it can cause?
Do you believe in manifestation at all? Like, do you believe in where, like, if you think positively or think about something you want to happen in your life, like, it eventually turns
The
up?
problem with those thoughts are the people that tell you that have had positive experiences. So,
That's
like,
true.
if someone is a rock star and they said, I dreamed it into existence, like, okay, great, but you also had talent, you worked hard.
That's true.
Like, how
That's
many
true.
people, like, tried to dream it into existence, but it didn't happen?
Right.
I think it's a combination of stuff. I think that visualization, and it's possible that there's something more to thoughts than just here's a thing that I have in my head and I put it out there and you know it's just a thought. Maybe there's some sort of creative energy that's attached to thoughts that maybe we're not aware of. But I think the problem with like things like The Secret and the law of attraction is that it's those very esoteric and fascinating concepts are they're hijacked by hucksters. And then assholes come along and tell you, Sam, I've got the secret to you living a happy, successful life.
And they
you
sell
can
you your
have
product.
everything you need by following my 12-step course.
Right.
And then, you know, someone pretends that they have this sort of attachment to this to the point where they've documented it and they know exactly how it works and they know. No, it's a feeling. There's a thing to it. It might be real. There might be something to it, but there's a lot of other stuff that has to be in place too. Like if you want the perfect life, you want like to manifest this incredible existence. It also requires an immense amount of work. It's not like you just fucking think it and dream it into being.
And maybe even a bit of luck.
A lot of luck. But what is luck? Maybe you're manifesting luck.
Is luck already destined?
Luck is working hard to put yourself in good situations.
Yes, but also luck because you can get hit by a fucking meteor.
That is true.
You know, and it has nothing to. You could be a child. And get killed in a drive-by. Like luck is real. There's bad luck. There's good luck. Shit happens. That's real too. So it's hard to say because it's all discussed by the winners.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I had a photo of a house that I put on my wall, and that was my vision board, and I made that a reality, and I built this business from the ground up with my own thoughts. Did you really, or did you work too? Did you, maybe like it's good to have this belief because that also gets you up in the morning and it fuels your discipline, right? Because you have this firm belief that you're going to make it happen. And then when you do make it happen, you're like, I dreamed it into existence.
But that wasn't the only piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
But I think it is an important part of the piece of the puzzle to see what you're focusing on. Just like,
it might be magic. There might be something to it.
There might be
might be something to it, but it might be just an ingredient that, along with discipline and along with a plan and along with talent. But there might be something to dreaming things into existence.
Every human being is a creator, and they are creating their life.
Quantum physics doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
I've tried.
Yeah,
I've tried really hard.
It makes about the same sense as that definition you were just reading of entropy.
Exactly. I'll go over it and over it again and get little chunks of it.
Right.
And I would understand like sections of sentences.
Right.
And then I'd have to try to put them together with the other sections.
It's hard. It's tough stuff. But one of the most important things, I think it was Niels Bohr who said this, I'm not quite sure, but one of the members of the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum physics said that basically a particle exists in many states simultaneously, and it's not until it's measured that it collapses into one state. That's one of the basic principles of quantum physics. Well, guess what, Niels? Every particle is being measured in some way all the time, all of its life, by other particles that are basically taking its measure and then responding.
Essentially, nothing is isolated.
Nothing is isolated in this particular cosmos.
You were talking, I watched a video where you were talking about that there is essentially a universal brain.
Well, yes, because you and I, right now, we're going to be talking to possibly out of your 500, where it's more like 1 million total viewers and listeners.
It's probably more than that. I think it's probably closer to 3.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking to, let's say, 100,000 of them or 200,000 of them. And they're processing what we are saying. Right now, there are bacteria in your gut and mine who live in enormous colonies. An enormous bacterial colony, if you had it on the palm of your hand, it would be the size of your hand, but you couldn't see it.
Are you thinking of this while you're saying it? Are you thinking of the vast numbers of people that are listening and watching? Or are you just relaying the information? Like, are you cognizant?
Yeah, both.
Both.
Because remember, Einstein gave me my marching orders.
Right.
You have to take complex ideas and simplify them so much that anyone with a high school education and a reasonable degree of intelligence can understand them. And I want to make good radio for your audience.
But once what I'm trying to get at is once you have got it established in your head that nothing is isolated, that everything is connected, when you speak, are you aware when you're speaking that everything is connected? I mean, are you actually consciously thinking of all of these different minds, taking into account all these different mind-blowing things that you're saying, and then applying them out in the world?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you hear it coming out of my mouth, that's what's churning around in my brain.
You're such a bright guy. I'm just trying to understand if you're in the moment, or if you're in the moment as well as being consciously aware of the spread of information.
Well,
that you're
my
a part of.
obligation is to do both simultaneously.
Both simultaneously. Yeah.
That's my obligation.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. So at any rate, so the entropic theory doesn't make any sense. I mean, look, there I was in a bed, right?
Right.
So you would think I'm totally isolated. I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not. I mean, once upon a time I wrote an essay about Descartes. Well, Descartes came up with the idea of I think, therefore I am. He took a retreat in Amsterdam. He rented a second-floor apartment, and he was trying to isolate himself the way that those particles are isolated with the Schrodinger's equation, the particles that were being drawn on napkins in Moscow. And so that he could strip everything away and find out what was the most basic thing, the most basic axiom, the most basic thing we take for granted in life. And he came up with, I think, therefore I am. Now, think about this for a minute. While he was trying to think this out, he was kneading a rubbery gum eraser with which he erased his ink. He was sitting on the second floor, which means somebody had invented the architecture that he was sitting in, and the concept of the floor, and the concept of beams that go across from one wall to the other that were holding him up. He was looking out the window, and he was looking at the hats that the Amsterdam men and women were wearing as they walked by, and he was fucking the cleaning lady.
Universal mind theory, this concept. I shouldn't say theory. The way you were describing it is very interesting. That there is no individual thought. That essentially
there's lots of individual thought.
It's all connected.
Right.
To all the other people that are around you, and all the people that you've interacted with, and all the places you've been, and the things you've seen, and all the people that are constantly thinking simultaneously around you that you're aware of.
And the people that you're trying to influence, because you're trying to influence people all day long.
Right.
If you want somebody to bring you a sandwich, you have to get across that you want that sandwich.
Yeah.
And especially if you want somebody like a wife or an assistant to bring you a sandwich, and that's not normally what they do.
Right.
Then you really have to work hard at influencing them. But the universe, at least the living part of the universe, and so far we only know of life on this planet, it's all interconnected. Those bacteria I was talking about, they're in your gut. They are making your vitamin B. They are making your vitamin K. They are making an awful lot of the things that you use to survive. They're also making chemicals that influence your mind and your moods. They're manipulating you. So when you go down to the corner store to buy some chocolate eclairs, and you go home and you eat them, in fact, you can only digest a small portion of the chocolate eclair. Those bacterial colonies living in your gut, they do the rest of the digesting for you. So who's really going to the corner store? Who's really the boss? Who's really driving you, the vehicle of transportation? Are these bacteria driving you down to the corner store so that you will feed them the stuff that they love the most? Or is your will driving you to the corner store? To explore now, this year, and maybe last year a tiny little bit, that it can actually be that precise in how it takes over the controls of that mind.
Is this related to one of those, the fungus that gets inside those ants, and the ants are aware of it, so they take the ant away because the ant will explode and spray spores into the air and it'll infect the colony?
I'm not aware of that one, but it sounds...
It's cordyceps?
Yeah, but it sounds similar.
Yeah.
But the real deal is, okay, life on this Earth functions the way that a beehive functions. And how does a beehive function? 95% of the bees are conformist bees. And they go out to the hot flower patch of the day, and they mine the nectar, and they have a public stomach in which they can carry this stuff. I mean, built into them, inside of them. And they have these carrying hairs on their thighs, and they carry pollen in those. And when they arrive at the unloading, really needs pollen and nectar, and they see you carrying that pollen and nectar, they stick their tongues down your throat to check out what's in your public stomach. They go wild with excitement when they discover it's filled with nectar. They check out your thighs, the carrying hairs on your thighs. They go wild when you feel like a rock star. Wow. Because this is the same kind of attention a rock star gets. So you go back out to the flower patch of the day and mine some more. Meanwhile, there are these lazy, good-for-nothing bohemian bees. See, they don't do anything to earn their keep in the colony. Why? Because they're out doing loop after loop after loop and lazy eights after lazy eights after lazy eights. They'll fly 8 miles just following their whims. Following their whims. You, the conformist bee, start coming back without pollen. Has been thoroughly plundered. And when you arrive at the unloading dock of the hive, the unloading bees stick their tongue into your public stomach, cut dead. And it finally, I mean, you can't believe that the old factory's not delivering anymore, and it's not giving you a paycheck, so you keep going, and you literally crawl into the hive. And Thomas Seeley, the guy who's done most of the research on it, how do we know that? Because your body temperature is down, and you're crawling instead of walking, and you're begging for food from other bees. Well, you look for something to perk you up. Now, what do humans use? A football game, a movie. Bees use pretty much the same thing. What does that mean? They go to the unloading dock. Out of the 200 lazy, good-for-nothing bohemian bees simply following their instincts, 5 have come back having found new flower patches. And they are dancing. And the dancing excites you. And they're dancing in competition with each other. Some will dance 27 seconds. Some will dance 27 minutes. And if you find the dance of one of those dancers sufficiently persuasive, it lifts you out of your lethargy, gets you excited, and you fly out. She's giving in a little figure-8 dance. She is giving precise instructions on how to get to the flower patch and what the headwinds are and what the tailwinds are. About it, you come back and you start dancing. And ultimately, the bee who gets the greatest number of backup dancers wins.
Some time. I think this is the way.
The law of attraction is something that has captured the world. This idea that you can attract the things you want into your life by manifesting them in here. Well, today I wanted to ask Shaolin Master and head teacher of the Shaolin Temple Europe, Master Shiheng Yi, what his thoughts are on the law of attraction. Today's video was made possible at mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the Not a Journal and the Momentum Ori posters and all the t-shirts, buy one get one free, with the link in the description, using code 2024 at checkout, which helps support Get Our Film Crew with all our production camera. Gears and our studio to the Shaolin Temple to be able to make these projects. So thank you to everybody who supported us. But before that, let's dive into the video. I don't know if you know of it by this terminology, but the law of attraction and how to use the law of attraction to manifest things into reality.
I heard about this terminology before, the law of attraction. I don't know necessarily how you would define it. But as I understand it, in a way, it is about, let's say, how to make something manifest that you want. If this is the case, area inside of yourself. Start with the smallest aspect. Let's just take it as the world of thoughts. So wanting to manifest something is now the question, how can you start expressing what you feel deep inside of yourself in such a way that the world of forms start to mirror it? Of you gets into direct resonance with what we have available on the outside. And I don't think there is a magic formula for this. What I know is that 100% hard work helps. Simple like this. So I wouldn't say that just think about it, just make your wishful thinking, just make your prayers, depending on what type of prayers. But having something that you really want, spending your time to already manifest it in the mind as good as you can, meaning make it feelable. Make your thought already start to go into the area of you can feel it. You can feel it, how it has entered your life. This is already a first step of, okay, now it's not just thinking about it, now you even feel it. It maybe is not there material-wise, but you can sense already what type of an energy and in which type of fluctuation within the flow of life actually that wish would put you. Okay. So that means you visualize something. This is what I regard as being a prayer. It's not just talking words. It's about diving in and trying to create that feeling, calling up, cultivating that thought that it really starts to become feelable. This is one of the initial steps. And now, practice and continuously and with patience. Stay with it. If it's important to you, stay with it. Keep on cultivating it. Slowly, slowly, but give yourself some time. Everything that happens too quickly, which is changing the status quo too quickly, first of all, it's not helpful for. I think this is the way. Slowly, steadily, wholeheartedly. Doubt, it just means it hasn't manifested like in the way that it's right in front of the eyes, but just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. But why so pure-heartedly? Because only the heart is the one that is, let's say, connecting us humans together. Only the heart is like that area that I would regard as the highest, that carries the potential to create life. This is normally what happens when two people come together and then go into a partnership, go into a bond, and create out of love new life. There is no other energy that can create new life. Two people hate each other, how they create new life?